Now let me show you exactly what I did to become a 3-time Amazon bestseller.
This video is brought to you by advertise Academy.
And I'll walk you through the theory, and at times I'll show you my results. So first of all, even before I get into things, you have to be resourceful and creative, because you may have options available to you for promotion that I didn't. So something that everything that I show you, it will work, but there may be more things that you can do. So don't just stop at the things that I did. Take it one step further. Maybe you can do more. Be creative. Okay. Now that I gave you that whole spiel, let's talk about what I did. First of all, you gotta choose a date, really concrete date, out in some time so that you can prepare for your promotion. If you have a book that's already live, you can choose some date, or if you have a book that's going to be launched, then that's your launch date. And you've got to set that date a little bit ahead of time. I like to give myself I gave myself about a month, actually. What did I do in this month? I had a better cover created, right? Because the cover helps you increase sales, helps you increase conversions. So that gave me time to get a better cover built. And I didn't have to stress about time limits. So basically I gave myself a lot of time so I didn't have to stress about the deadlines, right? So cover. And then also in this time, I talked to many of my peers, and I'll talk about that later in this video, about getting them to help me to promote. And for them, it was easier to schedule the promotion if it was ahead of time, right? If I came to them, for example, and said, hey, I need this tomorrow, can you do this? They may tell me like, oh, well, I just sent a promotion to my list yesterday, or how about next week? So I had to make sure that it works for their schedule, right? Because they're doing me a big favor. So that's the two things. You want to, get all your sort of T's crossed and I's dotted, like I did with my cover. And you want to get people who are going to help you to be able to schedule that into their schedule, okay? That's why I recommend giving yourself a date ahead of time. Now, in this time and before, you also want to build up your own audience. Maybe your blog visitors, YouTube subscribers, email list, all prior to the promotion, right? The bigger they are, the bigger your lists are, the more people can learn about it through your promotions when you reach out to them the day of the promotion, okay? And get them excited, because, tell them ahead of time that the promotion is coming so that they know to expect it. That's a good strategy. Then on the day right before the promotion, you want to set your price of your book on the Kindle to just 99 cents, because that's the smallest paid price, right? It's, you can also set it to free. That's the smallest, but free won't get you to be a bestseller status, right? So you want to get the 99-cent price, and you want to set it a day ahead of time so that Amazon has time enough to set the price. And for me, it was about 11 or 10 a.m. on the next day after I set it that the price on Amazon actually switched from whatever it was to 99 cents. So you want to do that a little bit ahead of time. So you don't want to mess that up, because if you get all your scheduled promotions going out, but you mess up the day of your price going to 99 cents, it will screw up everything, right? So even if you want to be extra careful, you maybe want to change your book price to 99 cents 2 days in advance, if you want to be extra careful with that. Okay. Then you want to be careful about building up extra lists. For example, there the common lists are email, YouTube, subscribers on podcasts. But in my case, look what I did. I have 25,000 subscribers on Udemy, right? These are my students, and so guess what? I also was able to email them. But actually emailing them was a little bit tricky, because Udemy terms of service suggests that I cannot email them promotions to paid books. So what I had to do is promotions, I kind of had to go roundabout, and even though I went roundabout, Udemy still emailed me and told me later they emailed me and they're like, hey, don't do this anymore. You kind of bend the rules too far. So I wouldn't recommend it necessarily, but it did help me a lot because it gave me a big list to promote to. Now, you gotta do what you have available to you, right? So in my case, I had this wonderful wonderful Udemy resource that I can reach out to my students. But in your case, you gotta figure out what might work for you. And if you don't have such a big list anywhere, it's okay, because you can just leverage other people's lists, and I'll talk about it in a second. It's not about all having like one list or one strategy. It's about getting the most out of these, right? Because anyone can do this, right? So before I get into those things, this slide is talking about paying for advertising. Now, I spent a total of about $50. Okay, you can spend more and get more downloads. It's all about being smart about where you spend. And it's worth spending some money on, because this is, being a bestseller is something that you can put on your resume forever, and it's going to help you throughout your career. So, you can spend money on this. I think it's a good investment. I didn't spend a whole lot. I bought a book promotion, Kindle promotion gig from a seller called BK Knights on Fiverr. He's very good. He generated maybe 10, 20 downloads for each of my books, and I did it for each of my books. So he's the best for Kindle promotions on Fiverr, and he's very good. He's very, very known. Usually, I steer away from recommending Fiverr sellers, but this is a person that's known now. This is a person that's really well known and really gets you great results. Other than that, I paid a few people to feature my book in their email lists or whatever. Not really hugely terrible lists, but enough to get me some downloads. And I was always just after some downloads. Anyone, if you can get me 3, 4, 5 downloads, I'm happy with it, because guess what? That's not the only person I'm asking for help, right? So if you can get me 20 downloads, great. 2 downloads, I'm also happy, because the whole idea was to get as many downloads in that 1 or 2 day window as possible in an accelerated fashion. So my job was just to get as many people as possible to help me promote. And so I reached out to a few people. I actually didn't go overboard, because as you see with my spending, I didn't have to, because I had other resources like my Udemy students. But if you don't have things like your Udemy students, you may end up spending a little bit more money on advertising to get the same results, which is just fine, because all the money spent here, $50, $100, $200, $300, I don't think it's a big price to pay, honestly, because that resume piece, bestseller, I think it will earn you way more than that through the course of your career. Now, just like you may pay people to promote, you want to ask your peers. These are people with whom you have nice, good business relationships. You want to ask them to promote your book. I did that, and it was really helpful.